Hey everybody, I'm Kathy Hester and I'm coming to you from my kitchen and I'm glad that you're here to visit with me. Sorry I'm running a little bit late today. We're trying out a new camera, so that would made things interesting. So I think it looks a lot better though. Hi Susan, she said this will be my very first live. Yay! We're so glad to have you here. And she always watches the after videos but never made it to an actual live. Well, that makes me feel much better. Oh, and if I move too much, the camera does readjust. So there will be some exciting things that we will learn in this live. So what I would love to do, like Susan, if you would introduce yourself, tell me who you are, say hi, say where you're from, how you're doing, how are you hanging in there. I think this is week 4 of self-quarantining for many people. I know a lot of you are not able to do that and you're out working and doing all the things. And know that we appreciate you too for doing that. I see a bunch of people are on. Come on, tell me who you are. I don't like the suspense. This weekend was pretty good for me. I was working on my April classes and some of you guys have already seen the posts. So depending on where you're watching this video, somewhere up, down, below, to the side, I've added links to a sales page for the classes, but also sales is kind of in quotation marks. I know a lot of us are unemployed and underemployed right now due to the new normal, the virus, and all the situations that are going on. So I wanted to offer my April classes for free. So what you'll do, if you're unemployed or underemployed, you'll click that link and basically you get a free trial for 31 days of Kathy's Club. It's going to include both April classes. There's like an easy vegan meal and easy vegan bean recipes. Hi, Miss Brenda. It's so nice to see you here. And also, I've thrown in a basic staples that have already been recorded so you can have something to look at now and hopefully then maybe make your own non-dairy milk so you don't have to go to the store and things like that. Hi, Brandy from snowy Alberta, and she's taking a break from homeschooling with my 2 strong-willed teens. I suspect there's a story behind that, and I'm very much looking forward to it, to hearing it. So again, if you're just joining, one of the links about the classes, the class page, if you go look, it talks about all this. I just made it today. So what does underemployed mean? I'm kind of underemployed. It means my ad revenue has gone down and some other things aren't, I'm not getting as much in my bank account as I did in the past. So if that is you, I did have someone ask me if they were on disability. They thought it did not apply to them, but it would apply to you. I consider that underemployed. In the past couple of weeks, I've been trying to get you guys to tell me if you were or not, and then I realized not everybody is okay with all their business all over the web like I am. So I apologize. I was trying to get that out of you guys so that I could possibly give you some prizes. So now we've got a win-win. You don't have to tell me. You know if you're unemployed or underemployed. So please do sign up. Don't feel guilty about it. What happens at the free trial, you do not have to put a credit card number in or anything. You're just going to get 31 days. After that, Podia, which is the platform that it's on, and you can only get this special underemployed link either from my Facebook page or a particular social media post that I put, or this link that I put in here for this special page. You can't just go to kathyhester.podia.com and find it, okay? And I was going somewhere with that. So anyhow, so if you are on disability, if you have some other issues, if you are with a nonprofit or working with a rescue or something like that, let's just consider that underemployed for right now and take it, right? I'd rather you guys take it. So you're not going to have to enter a credit card, but what is going to happen at the end of those 31 days, Podia, the platform that I use to hold these classes, is going to send you an email going, hey, your trial is running out. Do you want to join Kathy's Club for real? You just cannot respond to that at all. But know that you'll get something. And of course, I would love it if you could join, but that's not why I'm doing this, okay? Brandy said that's a generous offer. Deborah says, tuning in from Georgia, happy because Instacart delivered today. Woohoo! That's all I have to say. Relieved to have bananas, kales, and berries back in the house. That sounds delicious. Pam says, as a massage therapist, I am totally unemployed. Exactly. So there are a lot of people who can't do what they do. And I have friends actually who are massage therapists, and I have a friend who's, I have all kinds of friends that are in various levels of things. And being a blogger, cookbook author, and having a lot of people in my area being that, a lot of people are underemployed as well right now. And hi, Linda from Ontario. And Dawn says hello. You guys are awesome. Wow, we got a big crowd today. So if you're just joining me, first thing I was talking about, for April classes, I teach online plant-based cooking classes. And if you're not familiar with me, I do lots of options. So depending on what your special diet is, there's probably an option in a recipe for it. So it's already plant-based or vegan. I have oil-free options, salt-free options, usually sugar-free options, soy-free options, gluten-free options, nut-free options. I can work with you if you have a tomato allergy, though I might switch you to a different recipe, right? So there is no, oh, there's not enough. Okay. On, Sarah's on, and she loves my shirt. Thank you. My shirt loves you, is what it says. And Brandy's taking a break from leasing apartments because I simply don't want to risk getting sick. And I completely understand that. While I try to keep this as upbeat as possible, it is a scary time, and right now is a very important time in trying to level off the curve. So, that's what I'm getting from the news sources that I'm looking at. Hopefully not very often, because I'm trying not to get a little panicked myself. And today has been an interesting day for me. I'm a little more anxious. I may have had one coffee too many yesterday, and it's still affecting me a little bit. So I have no one to blame but myself. And then Brandy also has an autoimmune compromised son that lives with her. So of course, if you're living with older people or really anyone, a lot of younger people have been getting sick that I've been seeing in the news. So no matter who you are, act as if you have the virus when you're going out so you don't unintentionally spread it, right? And if we don't have it, that doesn't matter. But if we do have it and we didn't know, then we don't have to worry because we're already, we're being kind, we're being proactive, we're being helpful in our communities. And that's what's important. And Molly says her son loves my t-shirt. Yeah, I'm a Harry Potter head, so I do enjoy that. And Sherry says that I'm too sweet. Thank you for your offer. I'm on Social Security. Well, awesome. Well, hopefully everyone will get to do this. Joanne says, Brandy says, I give all the options. I do my best. So there's probably an option I haven't come across, but we can work through it together. I am certain of it. Joanne says she's looking forward to April's classes and everyone who can should come. I agree. It's so much fun on the classes because I film them live. So it's very similar to what we do here. So if you want to go to my YouTube channel or if you want to go and look back at some old Facebook videos on Plant-Based Instant Pot where I've done demos, a cooking class is very similar to that, only we squeeze a lot of recipes in a 2 to 3 hour time frame. So, and you get to ask questions live and it's interactive and Cheryl comes and helps. It's really cool. And Karen says, try mindful breathing, meditation, and stay at home. Yep, I'm staying at home. I am lucky enough to be privileged to have the option to stay at home. And that's something I've been thinking a lot about too, is that there are a lot of people out there that don't have the option to stay home. So I see there's some people who are like, oh, I'm bored, I want to go out. That's not who I'm talking about. They need to stay home. you know, but the people who are bringing me my Instacart groceries, the truck drivers that are bringing the product to the grocery stores so the grocery workers can stock the shelves and the cashiers can check them out to my Instacart driver, right? That's one set of people. They're going to work. They're necessary, right? The other people are the farmers and the people who work in the fields who are picking that food so that we can have kale and berries and things like that in our quarantined homes. And I think one of the things, it's very easy to do a knee-jerk, everybody needs to stay home. And everyone who isn't needed to be out should stay home. Have no wavering on that. However, I think that it's really important that we start thinking about all these people that are out there. I wrote something about that this weekend because I took a long walk and it really weighed on me that these people... And we can also, everybody thinks about the nurses and the doctors too, which fit in there too. They are also heroes. So are the truck drivers. So is your grocery cashier. So is the Instacart person. They are all being our heroes right now. And hi, Pat. You're not really that late. We're talking about some of my opinions, and we talked about some class stuff. I'll repeat that before we end up. And Karen found a company that delivers non-dairy milk. I think it's Elmhurst. Please put that in the comments if you have a link. And everybody, feel free to share affiliate links that would link to sources where people can source vegan and plant-based food or vegetables. So if you have something, I put Misfit Market out there, but if there's something else in your community, feel free. It's appropriate. We're all trying to help each other. And Brandy says we should be grateful for the people who work that we don't have to, or I should say so that we can stay home. And it's true. And so kind of on my soapbox, in a way, it's very easy to knee-jerk react. Well, just, don't make a cloth mask because they're not as effective as the others. Just stay home, right? And I'm seeing a lot of that. And I got to say, it's ticking me off a little bit. And this is going back. I don't usually have rants on here, but the reason it's ticking me off is that I do agree the people who are able to stay home should stay home. And by able, I mean who are not out working, risking their lives for us. For us to have groceries, for us to have hospital service to help the sick. But there are people who aren't being given masks that are effective right now. There's not enough to go around, right? So there are even doctors and nurses that don't have enough masks. So if a homemade mask will give them a little bit of something, and I'm trying to get out some information as they come up. I have friends that are nurses that are passing some information about the masks. And some of them are even to cover other masks. I am not a health expert. I can't tell you what's what. However, if I have an extra cloth mask that I make and my Instacart driver doesn't have one and comes to my house, I'm going to give them one because that's better than nothing. And that's my opinion. And I try to steer clear of opinions on here. But, for right now, if it kind of gets you a little bit, then maybe think about the whole thing, right? I think what some people who are knee-jerk reaction about these masks and posting everywhere, I think that they're thinking, oh, well, now I'm going to put my bandana mask on and I'm going to go to the grocery store and the movies and I'm going to go hang out with 6 friends. No, that's not what it's for, right? That is not what it's for. It's for a little extra protection for the people who have to go to work, for the people who aren't privileged enough to have their bills paid without going out and risking their lives, because that's what they're doing. And it's one of the things that I came upon for me is that there's no way I can personally repay them. that it is such a service that you don't think about, right? It's just as brave and heroic as anybody else who's risking their lives to help the country or to help me. And so I feel very strongly about it. And so I just think that one of the things that I tend to say as a daily thing is be helpful, be kind, including be kind to yourself, right? So they're helping us. How can I help them, right? What can I do? Is there something I can put out in the world? I could put out a little kindness, right? We can all do that. We can all just be a little kinder. And that chips away at the debt that cannot be repaid. At least we can share, and we've created such a wonderful community already. So anyhow, just think about that. And so, and Dixie said, no mask, use a scarf or a snowy weather face shield. And there's lots of information out there. Again, I'm not telling you what to do, what to wear. If you can stay home, stay home. If you have to go out, see if you can't have something that helps you, if it's at all possible. And Anna from the UK says the Vegan Kind supermarket is great and it does free delivery over $65. So that's awesome. Thank you for putting that in here. And Joanne says Joanne's Fabric is supplying mask kits for those who can sew to make for those on the front lines. And I have some friends who are doing that. There is something called the Scrap Exchange that's in Durham, North Carolina. And they have some fabric and they're selling some kits as well. I've also noticed that some people are making little things to go behind your head to put the loops around because they're changing masks so much that people's ears are hurting. So again, and oh great, Brenda put up the link to the Elmhurst so you can order that there. And I appreciate that. And Sherry says, kindness is so important, small things with great love. And that's a quote she gave us from Mother Teresa. And I agree. So for me, one thing that I can do is I can offer up free April classes for the unemployed and underemployed. I am asking if you're affected by the new normal, if you just lost your job and any of that, I don't need to know why. Right? Just come on in, enjoy, let's cook together, let's make some stuff. Hopefully I'll show you some things that'll help you save some money. So it'll be a win-win. Now, if you're not affected financially by all this, it would be lovely if you would purchase a class to help support me and my efforts. So there you go. That's my 10 cents on that. Another thing that I put, again, it is somewhere, depending on what platform you're watching this, with the links. My friend Howard Jacobson of the Plant Yourself podcast and the Sick to Fit Facebook group. He is offering a pay what you can meditations. And let's see what I can, I'm trying to read two things at once and that was not helpful for me. Let me... It's a guided relaxation exercises for the homebound and stressed out, which would be me a little bit today, right? It's definitely time for me to express my bipedal nature, so Josh would say. So basically, it's short audio clips for busting stress, focusing on what matters, sleeping well, and staying sane. And it's Howard Jacobson is my mindset coach. I think he's amazing. So, and you can pay what you can. That means if you're unemployed, you can get it, for free. And if you're able to give him some money, please do. He's actually stranded in South Africa with his family because of COVID-19. So he had just been there for a few days of a 3-week vacation, and now they've close the borders and lots of stuff. So if you could help him too, that would be amazing. So those are my pitches, but basically what I want is to kind of help you feel normal in your life. Why don't we learn something? This great community that we get to hang out with while I'm doing these daily lives are a lot of the same people that are in the classes. Brandy, Joanne, Brenda, Dawn, a lot of other people. And so it really is a nice, helpful experience. And I would love to have you experience that. I think one of the things that can be hard right now is being isolated, especially for you extrovert people, wherever you are. I can't imagine what it must be like. I've been on so many Zoom meetings and talking to people I haven't talked to in a long time that I got way, way overloaded and had to go into my introvert cave for a little while. Hi, Miss Norma. It's good to see you here. And Brenda says, I do too, and I'm hearing folks can't buy bulk nuts for homemade. So you guys need to make oat milk. Who has rolled oats or steel cut oats? In my mind, almost all of you raised your hand. So I'm making it up. But all you need to do is put anywhere from like a half a cup of rolled oats and maybe 3 to 4 cups of water. Blend it in your blender until smooth. I use a fine mesh strainer to strain it out. And oat milk. It's only going to last for a couple of days like that. You can put a thickener in it. I think we did something about oat milk recently, but you could put a little xanthan gum in there or something else. And maybe I'll make some tomorrow. Maybe we'll do a demo tomorrow. Oh, Brenda, I'm so sorry. Brenda's saying the classes dates are wrong. I thought they were correct. So one is Wednesday, the 22nd, because I figured we could all do during the week. And I'm looking at my calendar now. The other one is, if I can get the April dates, the 18th. And I will go back and check that, and see if I've got something wrong. So one is on a Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, these classes that we're talking about are my online classes, so they're filmed on live with a virtual audience where you guys can ask questions. If you can't make it on those dates, it's perfectly fine. Those recordings will then go to Podia, and that's where you would go to kathyhester.podia.com, log in how you signed up, and you'll be able to access those to rewatch them. And Deborah put a URL for Elmhurst Milks. And Brenda's saying, how do I keep oat milk from being slimy? Okay, my first trick, and Brenda, I know you have those wonderful nut milk bags, which I love. And actually, Brenda, why don't you go ahead and put a link to your nut milk bags? I don't think I have them right out, because I know that she's selling them, and she sent me some, and they're great. However, with oat milk, I do not use a nut milk bag, because the more you squeeze the oat pulp, the more slime is going to come out. So I use something more like, and this is my new favorite strainer. It actually is like a double strainer. You guys can see that? So what would happen is this would be over something, and I would take a spatula of some kind. So let's say we have the oat pulp mixture, and I kind of just press it a little bit or stir it around. Okay? The more you press, the more slime is going to come out. The longer you keep the milk, the more slimy it's going to be, unless you put some sort of emulsifier in it, like a xanthan gum or a ground chia seed, something like that, to help. And that's one way to do it. Oh, and Joanne says cold water. Yeah, I never use hot water on the oats either, so I didn't think to say that. I just get it right from the from our sink. We've got a filtered water faucet, and that's always kind of cold. So, and then Brenda's got her Rawsome Creations, a link to buy the bag. So if you are starting to make your own nut milk, I highly recommend those bags. And Brenda says, thanks for the strainer tip. And that's what I always get for trying to use my own product. Well, it's just one of those things. Oats is just a little bit trickier, you know, because they are slimy. And they're going to, if you can just make it just with oats and water. It is going to separate. You're going to have to stir it up. And each day it will be a little more slimy. So by day 3, you're probably not going to want to use much of it. But you could just make enough to use right now. So that's one of the things I like. And I think last Thursday, we talked about how I got some extra oats. And so I always try to keep a couple of extra pounds of rolled oats around all the time, because if I wanted to make a soup or something and I didn't, like right now I'm kind of cheating and I have chocolate almond milk in there for my coffee that I probably need to stop drinking. But that's been my treat for this week. I can just make it up really quick, use it right then. I can make 1 cup of it. I can make however much I want. And Joanne says during Kathy's classes that she feels normal. And I think that it's good, and it's good for us to be here and talk like this. It's a little weird for me, because I kind of wish we could all be in a big Zoom call, but then I would cry because there would be so many people talking at the same time, and my little introvert soul can't do that right this second. But we're going to do something about that too soon, by the way. I'm working on it. And Joanne likes stirring. I like stirring too. There's something about it. So basically when you're stirring, what you're doing, at first everything's going to drip out, and then the little holes get clogged. So that's really what you're using this for, is to unclog them and let some more liquid run down. Just in case you wanted a fancy tip like that. And Brenda says chocolate consumption doesn't count now. And it's not so much that I think things are good or bad, but yeah. It's an interesting time, people. It's one we'll remember for a long, long time, I suspect. And it'll change some things in the future forever. And one of the things that I hope that it can help is make you feel more comfortable about making some staples at home and cooking at home. That you feel more in control of what you consume. And that's what I want to help you with, if that makes sense. Hi, Miss Elizabeth. Welcome. It's so good to see you here. Yeah, and Joanne says don't blend for a long time, talking about the oat milk. I'll make oat milk tomorrow. How about that? Because I don't think we're going to get our next Instacart delivery until Wednesday. So I'm going to need some more milk. So we'll make milk tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon or whenever it might be. And Brandy says it's the little things that can make our day. Some almond chocolate milk in the coffee, or finding a bag of cashews when you thought you were out. And it's true. It's very, very true. Sometimes just the littlest thing can help. And it's kind of funny because today's been a very stressful day for me, because I've been on the phone with a credit card company and doing some stuff like that, which is not my favorite things to do. But talking to you guys, just kind of connecting back into this wonderful community we have, is kind of calming and soothing. I was talking to Cheryl, and I said, you know, our older dog passed away this fall, and she was my rock. She was like a lab plot hound mix, so she's reverse brindle, and she's like 90 pounds of just calm happiness and sassy. She was a sassy girl. But whenever I would feel kind of like this, she would be my rock, to just kind of lay there with me, be there, and help me be calm. And I think checking in with you guys and trying to think of ways that I can help some of you that are in kind of a hardship way right now. And, you know, unfortunately, I don't have millions and millions of dollars. I wish I did. But what I can do is think, you know, like I can create this community and keep showing up so that we have a place to meet. I can invite some people that are having a harder time into our online classes. Those are the things that I am able to do. And I think that in the end, we're being kind to help other people, but we're being kind to soothe our own souls, you know? And I think that means a lot right now. Okay. And Elizabeth says, awesome, I need Instant Pot staples tips. Don't want to waste foods by trial and error. And Elizabeth, I don't know if you go to my website. I know some of the people are new. So I have Instant Pot recipes at plantbasedinstantpot.com, and there are things for, I think I have almond milk there, where it's a quick almond milk, so you actually heat the almonds in the Instant Pot to make it soft. I've got sauces, I've got all kinds of recipes there. I have other staple recipes on healthyslowcooking.com. So if you're kind of new to me, those would be two places to go. Both have search bars, so you can search per ingredient, or if you're looking for a certain kind of recipe. Also, you can still go to my free private group, Vegan Recipes Cooking with Kathy Hester, and you can ask questions there. And if you're watching this, you're not in there yet, just instead of answering all the questions, if you want to, you can just go, Kathy sent me, or answer the questions. The questions help me, so it'd be nice if you could. Brenda made tempeh bacon this weekend. Woo! So those of you who are new and did not see it, I did a video on I can bring home the tempeh, fry it up in the pan. And only the older people are going to understand what comes after that. But basically, it was a sassy commercial back in, was it the 80s? I think it was. But anyhow, so there's a recipe with a marinade for tempeh bacon, and that is up on my YouTube channel too. So if you search for Kathy Hester, you can find that there. Or you can go to plantbasedinstantpot.com Facebook page, go in the left-hand side, look up videos, and you can find it there. And Susan says she has an almond cow to make her milk, and it's the best thing ever. And my hubby got it for me along with a 20-pound bucket of oat groats. That's awesome and a great idea. Joanne says it's a great idea too to make oat milk with oat groats. You can make oat milk with any kind, from oat groat to rolled oat. It's the difference is going to be a matter of, do you have to soak them? And rolled oats is, yeah, no, you don't really. And Elizabeth said she was thinking of an almond cow. She can't tolerate certain B12 or folic acids, and that stuff is in just about everything. Right. And the thing is it's so much cheaper to make your own milk. It's just really, really cheap. And if it's not cheaper for you, it probably means you're using more almonds and making it richer. So therefore, you're still getting a better product than what you would have gotten before. And you can choose. So if you have a recipe that says a 1/4 cup of almonds and 4 cups of water, it's too thin for you, add more almonds or add less water next time. So you can find the perfect recipe for you. Aw, you're so sweet, Elizabeth. She said she loves my smile. And that it's great that she can search per ingredient with grocery uncertainty. We are doing Iron Chef competitions right now. Yeah. And that's my thing, is that I can make dinner with just about anything. So if you got questions for me, you just make sure you tag me, because Elizabeth, I think you're probably in the Sick to Fit Facebook group watching this right now. Just make sure to tag Kathy Hester and your questions so I see it. Because right now I'm a little spread over a bunch of groups and things. So tell me, do you guys have any questions for me? Do you have any questions about some foods that you have or dinner you want to make tonight, or how to do something? If you have, what else? I don't know. How are you doing? If you want to tell me how you're doing. If maybe tell me or tell everyone one thing that you did this weekend that really kind of helped you feel more normal or more centered or grounded. Because I did do a post, and I posted it up quite a few places yesterday. I think it was yesterday. The days are starting to blur together for me a little bit. Are they for you? about just kind of having inner struggles, you know, trying to decide what you're going to, oh, I don't want to walk, oh. And it's like, I walk and then I'm like, oh, I feel so much better. And so so walking is one thing that works for me. I'm also thinking of taking a nice hot bath tonight. But certainly drinking enough water, staying hydrated, getting enough sleep. And if you're not, as things like kind of linger on, you may have some nights where you can't sleep super well the whole time, or a few nights that it's harder to get to sleep. So just remember, if, again, you are one of the lucky ones that are getting to quarantine in your home, that you can take a nap. And there's no shame in that, right? Getting enough sleep is important for your immune system and your mental health. And it's okay to do it. Let's see. Elizabeth says she struggles with spice combinations to choose for soups. I'll just throw a bunch of chopped veg in a pot with broth, but don't know what to season it with and amounts. I could tell you how. So, Elizabeth, you might want to watch some of the lives that I've done, and I'll see if I can go back and find one that would be appropriate. So one thing I do, and actually here I can... So there's a couple things you can do. So this is marjoram, and this is thyme. So the first thing I can do these two go together? And you might be, that's the question I asked you. Well, smell them. Was it a good thing or a bad thing? And you will know. The animal self of you knows if this smells good or not, I promise. Okay, and so another thing what you can do is, let's pretend this is a soup. Instead of me dumping this in and tasting it and going, oh, that didn't quite work. I've got some things in here. Smell that. Smell the two things together. Your nose will say if it's a good idea or not. And same thing, if you're not sure about some spice, getting crazy up in here. Some spice combinations. This isn't necessarily bad, marjoram and paprika, but I don't really smell a way that I want to have that. It's not a match. Like, this is a match. Marjoram and thyme. And marjoram and thyme are really good for most vegetable soups, in fact. So that would be a good place to go to. And sometimes it kind of depends. So like if we're doing some Slavic or Northern European soups, sometimes you might have caraway seeds or dill. If it's a soup that you're modeling after something, you can look it up and see what some of the spices other people. If you're just like, well, I had celery and I put butternut squash with it, which would be a soup I would make, I would probably default to some marjoram and or thyme. Those are really good to do for general vegetable soups. Okay, let's go. Susan says, I can never remember what day it is. I'm keeping up mostly with the day, but then like if I think, what did I do on Saturday versus Sunday, then I'm none. And Dixie says she's been doing yard work, and that's a great idea. I'm hoping Cheryl will want to do some yard work. And Brandy says naps are the best. And Elizabeth said, with so many people out, I do struggle with relaxing during my walks. I find myself just wanting to get through them and get back home, but it's nice to get out. And Elizabeth, I don't know where you're living. Where I live, it's kind of suburban. So while I'll see some neighbors while we're walking, it's just really a 2-lane road. So there's enough to social distance, but it's not like walking in the city where you're really close to people, so I feel okay about that. The hard part for me is not touching all the puppies. So I'm always like, ooh, I'm going to cuddle you so hard in a month. And the puppies are like, I don't know what your problem is. But yeah, it's nice to get out and you kind of think about, Yeah, and Elizabeth said that's a neat idea. This is how I cook. So when I do cooking classes, and if you've been to any of my cooking classes, you have seen me smell stuff. So it's a way that I can teach you to know what you like and if it's going to work for you. And that's something that makes me very happy, because just because I said this soup should have 1 teaspoon of this and a half teaspoon of something else doesn't mean that's exactly how you want it. It's good to have something to start with when you're starting to cook, but it's also really good to be able to tailor things to your own taste as you become more mature in the kitchen. Oh, and Susan says, great herb advice. Thank you. I'm like, that is my thing. So I do things for special diets, but I feel like my biggest passion is to teach people that they know how to season their food and to make it delicious. And it's just not that hard. It's not like we have to go to graduate level calculus style spiceology, right? We just have to trust our instincts and what our heart says. And Brandy, oh, that's a good point. Is telling Elizabeth, I have some spice blends on my website, the Instant Pot one. I probably have some spice blends on either one of them. My cookbooks, so I do have like 10 cookbooks. And that's the other thing I was supposed to say. The Easy Vegan Cookbook, the Kindle version, is on sale today for 99 cents. And I did not put that link up. Brandy, if you could find that link for me on both the Canadian and the American Amazon site, I would really appreciate it. And so there's spice blends in there. And in fact, let me grab that book. I'll show it to you. See, having my travel microphone means you get to go everywhere. See. Okay. The Easy Vegan Cookbook is a really good one for these times. Let's see. There we go. All right. Because they're simple recipes. I do have oat milk, so that I'm going to read the staples to you. Homemade bouillon, creamy gravy, which is actually a dry mix. I think this is the one that's the dry mix. No, that's just making creamy gravy. Cauliflower Mexi mince, oat milk, vegan sour cream substitutes, cashew or tofu based, almond ricotta, cashew carrot cheese, pumpkin cashew cream cheese, Cajun seasoning blend, which I use a lot on potatoes, how to do dried beans, a super fast enchilada sauce, cauliflower ricotta, maple walnut sausage patties, and chai spice almond granola. And one of the classes that's coming up in April, I'm going to do recipes from Easy Vegan. So we're going to do those sausage patties and some apple buckwheat pancakes. Breakfast for dinner. What more do I need to say? And Joanne said, I found out today that Palm Sunday was yesterday. I didn't even know that yesterday was Sunday. I'm starting to forget what month it is. Things are starting to get weird. I'm worried I'm going brain dead. I don't think you're going brain dead, A. B, things are weird. They just are weird. And I think that it's okay. I do know, because I have some meetings scheduled, I do end up looking at the calendar at least once a day, and so I think that kind of helps me. So you might try just popping up the calendar. Hello, Wednesday. I'm glad to see you here. And Joanne says garlic. Yeah, garlic, onions, those are all wonderful things to saute and season as well. Garlic powder is awesome, especially if you're lowering your salt or doing recently been put on a no salt diet. If you don't have a salt-free blend or you've run out, try using garlic powder to get a little bit of that bite in, and that's really helpful. And Elizabeth says, I struggle with veganing because my tummy struggles with raw onion and tomato and vinegar and some citrus, so I do have to be creative. But you're okay with the cooked versions? Would that be true, cooked onion, or just no tomatoes at all? Oh, and I just found my new book. Yay! Yeah. The book is usually like $22, so 99 cents, you can't go wrong. You just really can't. And because Amazon isn't sending things to you right now, like see here's Cuban black beans over coconut rice. Let's see what else we got in here. Mapo tofu. And there are soy-free, gluten-free options. In most everything. Yeah. And then there's going to be oil-free. It's going to be either marked that there's no oil added, or there will be a no oil added option as well. So it should fit pretty well. A lot of these things are just very basic and very comforting. So anyhow, 99 cents. And Joanne loves that I always have a staple section in all of my books. It's super, super important to me. And I have fought every publisher that I've had about that because they're all like, oh, well, like the air fryer book has a lot of staples because I'm telling you also how to make breadcrumbs and some different things and spice blends that we use in all these recipes. And so they don't always like that. Okay, and I think Brandy finally found the 99 cents on Kindle. It may be that, okay, she did find it. And Carol says, I wake up in the morning thinking I've had a really bad dream. Not. And yeah, I feel it, you know, you guys, I feel it too. So I've been trying to be very upfront with you guys through these daily calls, Monday through Friday. Because like this is week 4. Last week went so fast that I didn't even do a demo. I did do 2 unboxings, so I guess I didn't just do talking head the whole time. And again, I apologize for not coming in on Friday. Cheryl ordered in some lovely lunch for us as a surprise, and I had been in a conference and in a class and in all these other things, and I was overpeopled. So I can just do what I can do. But what I would love it is if you guys go back and you see the page about this class that's for the free trial of my classes that is for the unemployed and underemployed. If you could share those with your friends, family, and any groups, I would really like to get that present out to as many people as I can. So if you're willing to do that, that would be lovely. If there's no more questions right now, I'm probably going to finish up because we've gone for quite a little while. But I really, really appreciate all of you being here and being in this community with me. And let me know if there's something I can help you with your cooking. Know that I have all the faith in the world in you. And we're all going to come out of this okay. It's just going to be a little tough for now, but we can eat delicious food and make things with what we have on hand, and I can help you with that. And Linda said, I didn't find your cookbook on Kindle in Canada. And Brandy, maybe you could help with that a little bit since you're also in Canada. If not, when I get off, I'll check that. Elizabeth said, thank you, I finally caught you live. Yay! I try not to go live too many times in Sick to Fit just because sometimes we just have these talks. And Carol says, the Kindle version is $9.99. That is not what they told me. So I will go check. Perhaps I got the date wrong, but she did say it was going to happen this Monday. So let me go check with that. I will put something back on here. The publisher emailed me. I had nothing to do with this. So hopefully the publisher took care of things and Amazon got things settled. Hi, Jen and Angela. It's so good to see both of you. I'm glad you're both here live. Oh, okay. And Cheryl says she's seeing it for 99 cents in the US. And Brandy says it's $9.99 for Canada. Well, shoot. You would think it would go over because actually I think Page Street is with a publisher that's in Canada. So I'm a little confused by that. But let me see what I can find out for you guys. If not, That's what I was told. I did not ask about specific countries, so maybe that's my fault. And Susan did just get the Kindle version for 99 cents. So hopefully you guys can get that. There are some recipes on there that are on Healthy Slow Cooking too, so you can look those up. And Brandy's, oh, and I wonder if Brandy's seeing it different because Brandy's in Canada looking at Amazon.com. It's just coming up when refreshed. Okay, so maybe it just actually changed prices. I'm not sure. So recheck your Canadian one. Woo! Got to get used to this new camera. What did I do to make that happen? It didn't do it again. Either I'm very dizzy. Nope, there it goes. Okay, Art's refocusing. All right, guys. So go out there, be as helpful as you can. If you can't be helpful, be kind. And be kind to yourself. Think about one thing you can do today, from emptying your dishwasher to taking a walk to reading a book to hiding in the covers for 15 minutes to take care of yourself, okay? And I will be talking to you sometime tomorrow. I'll try and put this up when I know what time I'm going to go live, and I'll see you then.